It's been a while since I've been on here because life has been a little bit crazy. So, hey, Teacher Kelly, you're first. Yay! I have some friends here today too to say hi. So, big news is my family is moving from Idaho to Texas. Whew, it is a big move. The last time we moved to a new state was about 6 years ago. We moved from Portland, Oregon to Idaho. So it's like a 1 day drive, packed all of our stuff in a big U-Haul and drove it over here. Um, the only downside with that one is that we had a 2 month old who had a nurse every 2 hours. Was not a very good nurser, so it took a lot longer to get here. Well, this time we're not going with a baby, but we are going with a very pregnant mommy. So when we make the drive in about 2 weeks, I will be 34 weeks pregnant. I would show you, but I'm sitting on the floor right now. My office is gone. So I'm actually on the floor in the old bedroom teaching. So I can't like stand up and show you my big belly, but it's there. So hopefully everything goes well with the trip. It is a 26-hour drive that we could push it in 3 days, but we're going to do in 4. So each day is going to be between 6 to 8 hours of driving time, knowing that we're going to stop at every rest stop along the way because I will be, again, 34 weeks pregnant, need to pee a lot. And then we also have 2 young girls with us too, ages 2.5 and 6. They'll need to get out and stretch as well. So, yeah, that's gonna be fun. My parents are gonna come down with us, so we're taking 2 vehicles, my husband's and my car. So we'll have a bunch of different drivers to rotate through. And then my parents will stay with us for about a week, and then we'll fly them back to Idaho. So it'd be nice to have some extra adult hands to help out with things. So I my house is not presentable to do a tour. So I made a little slideshow of pictures that I took, and I realized that a lot of this process I've just been living in the moment, so I haven't been documenting as much as I wanted to, haven't been taking as many pictures as I've wanted to, but I have enough to show you a few tips and tricks that we've learned the hard way. People tell us what to do, but do we listen? No, not always. So we're kind of learning the hard way what to do and what not to do. Okay, so here it is. We're moving. Here's my family, my lovely husband, myself, 2.5-year-old, 6-year-old, and baby on the way. So here is what we've been trying to do. We've been trying to get our 1,400 square foot house down to 16 feet pod. We decided to go the pod route so we wouldn't have to drive it ourselves, but pods are expensive. Actually, everything's expensive. Super, super expensive. U-Haul would have been the cheapest option, but that would still be almost $3,000 to get to Texas from Idaho because it was like, what, 1,600 miles? I don't know. You can Google that one. Pods were the next least expensive, but was still like $4,000. Moving is so expensive. Hiring a moving company would be closer to $6,000. They would just pack all of our stuff for us, but I still had things to go through. So we decided to go the pod route and get friends to help load it in. Here on the right, we can see how we've layered it. So we've learned to make like a layer of boxes, then a layer of furniture. Mattresses are great for walls, more layer of boxes. But we had to be very strategic of what we packed. So pro tip is to be wise with what you pack. Purge, purge, purge way before you go. We had a bunch of big clear storage tubs in our shed because our shed leaks. So we learned never to put cardboard out there. So we had a collection of about 50 clear tubs out there, the big ones that I'll show you a picture of later, out there. We brought them all inside 2 weeks ago. We went through them all and we purged down to about 50% in every category. So like I had 4 boxes of teaching stuff. I brought down to 2 boxes. We had 2 boxes of each size clothes for the girls. We brought down to 1 box for each size clothes. So I had to look at the categories and say, okay, I have this many boxes. Let's bring it down to half. So we ended up having about 25 extra boxes we can play with to pack up the rest of the house. So purge a lot. Get down a lot. We did not purge enough, but we did purge a lot. It's amazing how much stuff you accumulate over the years. It blows my mind that when I moved out of my parents' house, I don't know, 12 years ago, 13, I don't know, something like years ago, I just came in a car and I just moved to a dorm room. And since then, we've accumulated so much furniture and so much stuff. It's just crazy. Uh, so next picture, here is our pod fully loaded. So the one on the left is the one they did the day that they loaded it. We had some guys come over and they could only stay for about 3 hours. So by about 1 o'clock, they needed to leave. So they stayed extra 20 minutes just to get it in the pod. So it's in there. But a lot of stuff did not make it in. A lot of stuff was still left in the house. My sister was in the house trying to pack things up real quickly. I'd be like, okay, we can't take the dresser, put all that stuff into a big box. We'll put the box out there. So she was like in there packing crazily as we decided what we can and can't take furniture wise. And I will show you the picture of all the furnitures we could not take. So we prioritized. We're taking the hide to bed couch, the nice one. We're taking our queen bed. We took the twin bed with the trundle underneath. We did take the crib and the crib mattress because baby's on the way. And cribs are hard to find. You can't find those used very often. So I didn't want to buy that again. So some things that I knew were hard to find thrift, I took. And that favorite rocking chair is my favorite one. It's got the best height for the armrest. So I really wanted to keep that one. Some of the other ones are like, well, we bought it on Facebook Marketplace. We can buy it again. Or we bought it at a thrift store. We can buy it again. Or it's not my favorite. We can buy it again. So pack your memories first. Pack the important things first. And I really like these clear tubs. You can see all these clear tubs because I was able to look inside real quick when it got time to make a decision for that last layer. I was able to look out there in the gravel. We had all the boxes out there, and I'm like, I don't know what's in these cardboard boxes. The cardboard boxes are labeled books. I don't know which books are in there. I can't open up and tell them. But I can look inside the clear boxes. I can lift up the lid and go, yep, this whole box I really want to take. For example, I had 4 boxes of Christmas. One were Christmas ornaments full of memories. The other ones were cheap decorations that I got after Christmas sale. I said, pack the ornaments. I know what this one is. That's got memories in there. That one goes. The other 3, nah. I'll just pick and choose a few bundles from here and there if I need to go back in the house. These 3 can go back in the house. So having the clear boxes was helpful. And since I already had them, they are kind of spendy. They're like $5 each. So if you're moving and you don't have them, go with the cardboard boxes, which are $1 each. But I had them. Okay. Another pro tip. So the one on the left is the one they packed real quick. We were able to keep the pod for 4 days, which is another pro tip. Keep it for a long time. When you have like a U-Haul, you pack it up and you go. You go the next day. You don't have time to repack and try to rearrange. So it was really nice having this for a couple of days. We loaded the pod initially on Saturday. And on Monday, my mom came over and we took out that back layer and maybe even half of the next layer, put it all out there and said, she goes, I can pack this better. I can pack things more. So we have a bunch of these plastic shoe boxes in our house. I use these for everything. Everything gets into a shoe box, oftentimes without a lid. They're in all of my pantry items. They're my school supplies. They're my toys. They're everything. So I got a bazillion of them, like a lot of them. She goes, I can pack things into here and put them behind boxes so we can make the layers more even. Instead of having these weird gaps, we can put these and tuck them. So we saw that like we had 2 or 3 big toy boxes. We put the toys into smaller categories. Boom, 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 and we were able to fit a lot more stuff in there. Um, so the difference between these 2 pictures here, I'll show you again, is that the one on the right actually holds the equivalence of 13 more boxes of stuff. We were able to look through the house. I'm like, oh no, you guys forgot my 3 boxes of high school memories. Oh no, you guys forgot to pack this, this, and this. They did not get out there. So we were able to reorganize and repack and stuff to the top a lot of pictures, a lot of small things, a lot of big things, and take things apart. All my sheets were taken apart and put into individual like Walmart baggies and stuffed between things. We needed some small stuffers, so we were able to find towels and pillowcases and things. So instead of putting them in big box to put in there, we separated them and squeezed them in there. Which means when they unpack this last layer, there's a lot of little things that they have to pull out. But 13 extra boxes of stuff were able to go in there, which means mommy's a little bit happier because when I came in on Saturday, I was in tears of what we had to leave behind. And I'm like, I know there are things farther up in the pod that weren't as important, but now we get to the back and I have to make these hard decisions. So keep it for a couple extra days. Go ahead and take out the last few layers, reorganize. It's totally fine. It did take us an entire day to reorganize that last layer, but I felt good having all that stuff in there. And we figured out how much stuff can fit into our van. So we figured out in the minivan, we have there 2 adults in the front, 2 kids in the middle, and then the blank spot on the back. We're able to put our crib mattress there. My 6-year-old's gonna sleep on the crib mattress for a while. The hotel stays and right here at home. I fit there, and then we have room for about 8 more tubs and a cooler. So I know that anything I wanna take with me has to fit in those 8 tubs. My husband's car is gonna have the suitcases. So being strategic of what you can pack where, and then the rest just has to donate or sell. Um, yeah, let's see what Cindy has to say. Cindy, hi, welcome, welcome. Yeah, that's hard. We did that when we were young with 4 kids, left most of our stuff, had a small U-Haul. It's so hard. I know we got the biggest pod we could. The absolute biggest is a 16 feet, and it is small. We have to be very strategic. And so I will show you everything that has to be left behind, um, furniture wise. So we will rebuy, and that's okay because most of these things were things that anyway. So this is the stuff that was left behind when I went back in the house on Saturday. There's my 2 girls. I know I can make the picture bigger, but oh well. Uh, these are piles and tubs I need to go through. I need to figure out what really has to stay, what can go. I have to open up each tub and repackage each tub to go, okay, I'm down to 8 tubs that I can have left. Okay. So there's still stuff in our house. It's not completely empty. Here's everything that has to stay. Now, the ones on the left, I knew those baby items were going to stay. I'm going to resell them anyway, but all that furniture on the right has to go. So we have to buy new coffee tables, we were able to pack our dining table. We like the table and it was already packed by that point, but all the chairs have to stay. We have to buy new chairs. We have to leave all 3 strollers, leave the changing table, leave our bookshelves. We were able to pack 4 tall bookshelves, but only 1 small one. I would have probably only packed 3 tall bookshelves at that point, but it was already packed in there. Like once it's in there, it's kind of like it's there, especially if it's like the first layer. There's no getting out. Another pro tip that I really wish we would have done, and I can't be everywhere at once. What we really should have done is spent the time and taken everything outside, and I mean everything. Uh, all the furniture, all the boxes that were done, everything outside. And I wasn't ready for everything to go outside at the beginning. We still had, clutter on top of things, but we had to. Then once you see everything, then have the guys start loading up the truck. Okay. They came in here, they kind of looked around and they started like loading the bookshelves in, then loading this in and loading that in. And I came back and we were halfway finished with the pod. I'm like, guys, you forgot the dressers in our bedroom. You forgot the nightstands that need to go. You forgot all these things that need to go out there. And so by the time we get out there, I'm having to make decisions quickly with what's left instead of saying, okay, let me see what we have as a whole. But I was busy, inside and outside. I can't be everywhere making decisions. So by having everything and maybe categorized outside, it was a beautiful sunny day. We could have everything out there. Then we could see what we had. I could have made more decisions because at one point we had taken apart the high chair and the tray had been packed. And the last layer, like, we can't pack the high chair. You can either choose the high chair or you can choose 4 boxes of memories. Like, okay, 4 boxes of memories, keep the high chair out. Well, the tray was already packed. I'm like, guys, no, now you ask me to make a decision? Well, when my mom and I unpacked that layer and a half, we were able to get that high chair tray out to put it together to make a set so they could sell it. And we use that space for other things because then it was wasted space. So I'm like, no, I want to see everything first and then make a decision. And we try to go around the house. We try to put black X's on things that were going to stay, but we didn't mark enough things because my husband and I were like trying to talk, okay, what needs to go? What needs to stay? Like, well, it'd be nice to take this. Yeah, we can take all these bookshelves. Yeah, we can take all this. And yeah, we can find a use for this over there in Texas. No, that's not the brain thing you have to be. You can't be like, well, this would be nice to take. No, this needs to go. This can stay. This needs to go. So you have to prioritize what absolutely has to make it into your pod or your U-Haul. The rest will have to stay. So you can't have the mindset of it'd be nice if this could go. No, this needs to go. You got to prioritize. Cindy, you are right. It's amazing how much we call our own. I'm now trying to downsize. I know we got a lot when we moved into this place because it was a bigger place. We had more walls. People gave us more furniture and we filled it up. I'm like, we have too much stuff. Too much stuff. I'm really hoping that when we get there, this process will have helped us pare down some. I I don't want to call myself a minimalist. I am not a minimalist. I am a clutter person. I mean, I've got clutter everywhere. And I want to downsize. I want to become more minimal. I'll never be a true minimalist, having just a few pieces of things here and there, but I want to get better at it. I want to have clear spaces. I want to have clear counters. And it's so hard because I fall after my family. If it's a horizontal space, it gets stuff on it. Stuff gets put on it and it grows and these piles grow. Doesn't matter what kind of horizontal place it is, table, bookshelf, counter. If it's horizontal, it's going to get a pile. So I'm working on it. Working on it. Let's head back over here, see what else I have over here. Yeah, here's my teaching corner. Here's where I get to teach for this week. Next week, I had to find a space somewhere. So I'm on the floor on a pillow with my laptop on a bin, and that's where I'm teaching all my classes until we got because I was able to move my desk. So my desk has gone. It's a nice foldy kind of a hospital desk that folds up and down, wheels. I had all of my lights attached to it. I mean, everything was contained on this desk so that I could move from one spot to another spot in the house quickly with wheels. So that was an important piece that we wanted to take. We made it a priority to take that one because that way I can be in the new study that we got a house that has a study with a door. I'm so excited about having a door. That way my 2-year-old won't climb on my lap while I teach my class, like she tries to do. And yeah, I can move to the living room or I can move to the bedroom if I need to. So gotta pack priorities. So I think I covered all my bases. Purge like crazy before you go. See what you have out there and pack the important stuff. Pack the memories first. Pack the absolute essentials and save the rest for later. Buy new things down there. If I got it for thrift over here, I can buy it for thrift over there. If I buy a Facebook Marketplace, I can buy it again. Yes, these things were perfect in my house. Yes, these things, the chairs match the table perfectly. I don't know if I can get them to match again. Oh well, chairs take up a lot of room. So prioritize. Um, and then just kind of be strategic and then pack small. Pack things in smaller containers that can fit into little corners and smaller bags. So think small. You can have some big things too, but also get a lot of these things because they can pack in between and around because we had all this like stacks and then we had this empty space behind it. And so like what can you stick behind it? So we'll stick a bunch of things in here, repack into smaller bunches. So I think that's about everything. Let me know what your tips are for moving. It's kind of too late now for me. The pod has already left our house. Woo. But share with your friends what is important to pack with you. Our timeline is that the pod left yesterday, which is June 21st. We're going to take the drive down there July 3rd. So we've got 2 weeks here with like little bits of stuff. So we already kind of packed aside some clothes, about a week's worth of clothes each person. We'll do laundry, throughout. And the first week we're going to be at our house camping. We did leave one hide-a-bed here, so that's where my husband and I are going to sleep on the hide-a-bed in the living room. And we're trying to sell that. And when that's sold, then we'll go sleeping bags. I don't know. Next week, my parents are out of town, so we get to be at their house for a couple days. And then we take the drive down there in 4 days and everything is to go. So I've got this week, a little bit next week to go through the rest of my piles of stuff and make it down to 8 bins for the van. And that stuff gets to go. And that's not. So a lot of like our pantry items, I might have to just do one box of pantry items, go through, find all the expired food, and then go, okay, what can I buy down there? And only pack it like the really important things that you absolutely have to take. Maybe things that are only found in your local grocery store that you don't know if it's down there or not. So if I bought some stuff in bulk that I don't know, I will take that. But a lot of the stuff, give to friends, give to families, give to a food bank, as long as it's not expired, and then just rebuy some of the pantry items when you're down in your new place. Uh, let's see, we got other people have been talking. Awesome, Cindy. So yeah, I mean, it is wow of how much stuff we have. I know it's crazy. Clutter grows. I mean, well, every time we move, we downsize and then we downsize again. I'm like, what? I know, Teacher Kelly. I haven't moved in years. I know we've been in this house for 3 years. It's like every 3 years we seem to move. So hopefully we'll be in the next place a little longer than 3 years. But the longer you're in a place, the more you accumulate. So when you do have to move, it's harder and harder and harder. Yeah, it's crazy. See, Cindy, I always say everyone should move at least every 2 years, even if you stay in the same house. Hello, just move out and move back in and get rid of your excess stuff. Yes. That's true. So, story, my parents were thinking of moving to a smaller house last year. And with the housing market, it's just not going to happen. So somebody says, well, pretend you're moving into your house for the first time. Because they moved into this house 20 years ago. And so 20 years ago, we were all four kids living at home. Well, now we're not. So, okay, pretend if you were to move in this house today, as you are now, as almost empty nesters, what would you do with each room? How would you approach it? So they thought about it and they go, oh, I know that big bonus room above the garage that used to have two kids in it. Well, those two kids are gone now. That kind of became a big sewing room with a long run quilter that nobody used. And became like the everything room. And then my dad had a study downstairs, a really tiny, tiny study that hardly held all of his stuff, and he kept crouching out into the living room. I go, what if we switched? What if you took the bigger room and I downsized and took the smaller room as my sewing room? So he thought about it and go, yeah, let's do that. And it did take a lot of time. My mom pared a lot of things down so she could fit in that smaller room. And my dad was able to expand so he could have room for all of his bookshelves and all of his magic stuff because he's a magician. And so they were able to switch. So sometimes it is nice, Cindy, to pretend you're moving even if you're not moving. Um, I think it's a really smart idea. It's a lot of work, but it does pay off in the long run because you walk in these rooms and it's just the essentials. You have what you need to have, and you don't have piles of stuff. Um, hopefully, some people just make piles no matter what, but we're working on it. So that's my life update. This house is just getting emptier and emptier, and I'll try and take some more pictures as we go. I'll give you a tour of the new house when we get there, my new office. I'm excited about it. Figuring out where I can go, in the room. But we're excited to have a house with an actual study with a door. Because where I'm now, I'm in the middle of the open space. So when I do my early morning ESL teaching, who cares? Everybody's asleep. But when I'm doing out school during the day and my 2-year-old's wandering around, I have to wheel my desk into the bedroom and close the door. And I actually have to lock the door now because she came in yesterday while I was teaching. She's going, hi, mommy. I'm like, go away. So I have to lock the door and leave her out there with whoever's watching her because so she won't sneak in. um, okay, guys, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Leave in the comments below if you have any tips on any moves that you've done or what you might do if you move cross country. Just give me everything or give your friends everything. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.